With the introduction of customizable settlements in Fallout 4, it's finally time to transform your surroundings and call the wasteland home. But what experience and resources will you need to begin your settlements for not only yourself, but for anyone in the Commonwealth? Your first settlement will be your hometown of Sanctuary. If you want to dive into setting up Sanctuary, you'll need to know a few things about settlements before starting to build and expanding. The green border around your settlement indicates everywhere you're capable of building and scrapping while you're in the crafting window. Early on, you'll lack certain supplies needed, so I recommend tidying things up a bit and scrapping anything broken or anything you don't want lying around. Scrapping items will instantly place them into your workbench for future building in that specific settlement. After things have been cleaned up, you'll want to get some of the bare essentials going for anyone who is already a part of your settlement. Be sure to have enough beds built so each settler has their own. It's a requirement to keep the community happy and growing. Next, you want to make sure that you have at least the right amount of food and water to match your population. The easiest way to resource water early is by building wells. Cheap and effective, throwing a few up will have your needs covered. Next, you'll need food resources for your settlers. The best way to start your food production is by picking fruits and vegetables from existing plants and then planting them to expand. To make these plants count towards your food production number, you'll need to have a settler assigned to gardening. To assign a settler to a specific task, while in the crafting screen, select them and assign them to a plant in the garden. Don't worry about assigning them to each plant. An assigned gardener can take care of 6 individual plants. Once your need for more production increases, assign another worker to the garden to cover more. Once these few basics are covered, your settlement will need protection. A good rule for a strong defense is the sum of your food and water production as defense. Early defense can consist of guard posts and machine gun turrets. Guard posts are the easiest to make, but will require you to assign a settler to work it for its defensive stats. The good news is, once a settler is assigned to a post, they can work multiple defensive producing objects up to a maximum of 6 total defense. Basic machine gun turrets produce 5 defense and require no electricity or settler to defend the settlement. These are great bang for your junk early on. Those are the extreme basics for a settlement to operate successfully and happily. The next step is growing your newly found community by setting up a recruitment radio beacon. When operating, the beacon will attract new settlers to your settlement. The radio beacon will require electricity to operate, so first you'll need to construct a generator. Any generator you craft will have plenty of power for the beacon. Once the generator is present, you'll want to create the recruitment radio beacon and place it close enough to the generator so running a copper wire between the two of them is easy. Once it's all connected with the wire, you can flip the switch and welcome new settlers into the community. Now, before you run off, there are some key materials you want to keep an eye out for while you're in the wasteland. You'll need to plan out which perks you want to level up to depending on how invested you are in your settlement. As for rare materials, there are 2 ways to go about things. Take everything all of the time and make many trips back to your settlement, or use the search icon to mark materials you want to have flagged when you're out scrounging around. When a marked material is present in an item, it will be flagged with a magnifying glass. Now, what exactly are these rare materials? My list of rare materials is based off of my many hours in the wasteland. I personally tried to mark copper, aluminum, crystal, spring, gear, circuitry, and fiber optics. These seemed slightly more rare in the areas I was playing in. Everything else seemed bountiful or not as important to my needs at the time. If you plan on focusing your time at settlements and upgrading them, you'll need to have specific perks in mind to get the job done, or you'll be delaying progress. Important perks to pick include rank 1 in science for access to the large generator, laser trap wires, strobe lights, and laser turret. If you want to keep working on your science up to rank 3, then you'll have access to the heavy laser turret. Another key perk you'll want to make sure you have is rank 2 in local leader. With local leader complete, you'll have access to building stands and shops. You'll be able to use these to purchase and sell items for yourself, and they'll produce income based on your total population. You'll also need local leader to build any crafting stations you might be missing. Other perks to take note of are Gun Nut ranks 1, 2, and 3, all of which allow you to build new defensive turrets. Hacker rank 1 will grant you the ability to build terminals, and if you really want to get a jump for down the road, rank 2 for Cap Collector will let you build future Emporium trading stands that have the ability to set up supply lines. Well, that pretty much sets you up with where you'll want to start out on the basics of settlements. What other Fallout content would you like to see covered in the future? let us know about your settlements down below in the comments. This is Andrew from Curse, always reminding you to enjoy the game.